So we are set on the line for this GRC Lights final. Joni Wiman, you see there, the blue car on the very right-hand side of your screen. This guy has been unbelievable all season long, won every race so far.
Very consistent and a great starter, but beside him, Mitchell DeJong in the Red Bull car. He is incredibly competitive, and he is the future of Rallycross. Kid's just 16. Just had his birthday last weekend.
It doesn't even have a driver's license yet, and we saw him on this dirt track. Mitchell DeJong is so fast. If he gets out front, I think he could start to run away with this. Here we go. Ooh! DeJong just got pinched there between Eriksson and Wiman.
And the whole field is blowing by one of our favorites, and that is Kevin Eriksson out front.
So Eriksson out front, the blue car behind him is Joni Wiman, and then it's Sykes. But DeJong just got shuffled there. It looked almost like he couldn't restart the car, like something happened.
Maybe a transmission, maybe skipped a gear. Very tough to make up ground in this series because all of these cars out here in the field are completely identical. This is a spec series. The GRC Lights, they're 310 horsepower naturally aspirated cars. They're kind of 7/10 scale to the Ford Fiesta supercars. Very similar body style and prepared by the same team. Incredible racing because these guys are evenly matched. It's a development series to get future stars in the sport some experience and a place to start.
And that's what I love about this Lights series, the fact that it's all about the driver, not about the car. So right now, Kevin Eriksson is in the lead. He's ahead of Joni Wiman. And I got to say, Eriksson putting in a great race so far at the start here. Eriksson rounds the corner here. You see a battle between Mitchell DeJong in the car in the back. The red car is Sebastian Eriksson. And DeJong, you see how fast he is on the dirt here. He's trying to find a way past.
DeJong's background is in short course buggy racing. Those cars have pretty good suspension travel, and dirt is definitely his home. He picks up seconds on the dirt for sure. However, what his learning curve has been this season is that those cars have a ton of suspension travel and are very durable. These ones, while built very tough, are a little bit more fragile, and for him it's been learning how far is too far to push the car.
And you saw there the Joker being used, and the Joker you have to run once per race. It's a shortcut just before the finish line there, and Westlund passes DeJong by going on the shorter lap. So that spells a bit more trouble, but wow, DeJong again fights his way by. This guy on the dirt is just phenomenal.
And you can hear the cars here, these engines, they're naturally aspirated, which means they don't have the turbo power of the supercars coming out of the corners. These guys have to drive a little bit more aggressively, a little bit differently, and conserve momentum. Try and keep up the speed through every turn.
And I like the fact that when you saw that shot there, Sebastian Eriksson really was fighting for Sykes because Sykes is in third place, but this battle for first now, Joni Wiman is catching up to Kevin Eriksson.
Joni Wiman is consistent every single lap. Just enough to get in front of Eriksson there.
Oh, look at the back of Eriksson's car. The rear right tire is down. So Joni Wiman gets past him, but you can see there Eriksson having all kinds of problems.
Very difficult to control a car with a flat tire when the car turns and the weight goes on the right side of the car. So as he's turning left, it's very hard to steer. The back end just starts to float around. Tough, tough, tough rest of the race ahead for Eriksson with a flat tire.
Look at this battle. It's actually for second place now. Sykes is trying to get his way past the crippled car of Kevin Eriksson. And oh, Kevin Eriksson holding up the red car of Sebastian Eriksson there. I mean, he doesn't have much control, and he's kind of got nowhere to go.
Every time he makes a turn, you see he goes way wide. The back of the car swings out, leaving lots of room for the cars to pass in between. This is a pretty wide track. If this were a narrower track, that might not be such a bad thing, but here there's lots of room to get around.
So it's Sykes, then Sebastian Eriksson, and then DeJong, second, third, and fourth. And in the story we've told more than once this season, Joni Wiman just way out front in this race. And I think his good fortune came from Kevin's misfortune and that flat tire, because Kevin Eriksson was racing a really, really impressive race.
We've seen some great potential from Kevin Eriksson this year. He is the son of Andreas Eriksson, the team owner of Olsberg's MSC that builds all of these cars. He's been racing in folk racing with his dad, who's a racer as well, and shown great promise this season, but Wiman just took it away.
And Wiman right now, he is actually closing in on Austin Dyne, and he's about to lap Austin Dyne. So the first car, that is Dyne, and then this is Joni Wiman. So he is that far ahead of the field right now. But Dyne is still fighting. I like this. He's not giving up. He's trying to hold his position on that lead lap.
If I were Dyne's spotter, though, I would be asking Dyne, hey, pull aside. You've got the race leader behind you. Let that guy get some clean air so he can race.
And the protocol of racing does dictate when you know the leader is behind you. He's obviously incredibly fast. It's time to just kind of move out of the way and let the guy pass. I'm surprised now that Joni Wiman is this close that Austin Dyne hasn't just pulled off the race line.
It's possible, though, that Dyne has lost contact with his spotter and just doesn't know he's there. When you're so focused, when you're in the driver's seat, you're so focused on what's going on in front of you, sometimes you don't want to drive in your mirrors. You don't want to be distracted by it. So he may not even know Wiman is there. Looks like Wiman may get an opportunity here, though. He doesn't even really need to pass the lap traffic, though.
So still working on the back of Austin Dyne is Joni Wiman, but I mean, he doesn't need to make, as you're saying, he doesn't need to make a crazy move right now. He's got this race in the bag. If he just stays in this position, he's got over 4 seconds ahead of second place Sykes. So long as Austin Dyne doesn't really hold him back, he can just happily stay back there, and there it is. Oh, it's Sykes spinning it around on the finish line. That's not a good place to be. So Joni Wiman takes the checkered flag and wins the GRC Lights final again. An absolute perfect record in light racing for Joni Wiman.